What's happening, guys? Welcome back. Better late than never. Let's go over Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje, UFC 300, going down this Saturday. Now, I already kind of talked about this fight briefly, but this is an official quick breakdown. Let's get into it. All right, so this is Max Holloway's second venture in the UFC at lightweight. If I'm not mistaken, his first fight at lightweight was against Dustin Poirier. That one didn't go in his favor. Now, the consensus by a lot of people was that Max Holloway is too small for lightweight. I know Dana White flat out said that. He felt like that contributed to Max's loss, and there was a big power difference between him and Dustin Poirier. Now, Dustin Poirier in general has a lot of power at lightweight. I do think Max Holloway, to be successful at lightweight, has to bulk up properly, put on proper quality muscle for the division. He certainly has the frame for it. He's tall enough to pack on some size, pack on muscle, and be competitive as a lightweight. Is he ever going to be one of the most powerful lightweights as far as like strikes? No. I think power sometimes is a naturally occurring thing in some people. Max Holloway is more of like a precision, technical volume striker, but the extra size and strength certainly wouldn't hurt him unless if he gets too big and it takes away from his speed and movement. So it's kind of tricky. It's like a fine balance. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say. Max has had an amazing career. I think he's a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame. This fight against Justin Gaethje is an extremely dangerous fight for Max Holloway. Justin Gaethje is a wrecking ball at lightweight. The guy's one of the hardest punchers pound for pound ever in the sport, in my opinion. And when they first announced this fight, all I could think of was Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. Ferguson is kind of a lanky guy. So is Max Holloway. Some similarities in their frame and build. Ferguson is a little bit broader, and I think Tony's just like a bigger individual in general, but more on the lankier side again. Tony also has more power, but when he wants to, he moves around a lot, and at times has adopted that volume striker style. That didn't fare well against Justin Gaethje. Now, there's many reasons why Tony got battered in that fight. Some of it had to do with that double weight cut. Part of it was like a style matchup. And here's something else similar to Max. Tony relies on his chin to absorb punishment, keep pushing the pace, and land his shots. Max has great footwork. When he doesn't want to be hit, he doesn't get hit, just like in a Calvin Kattar fight. But there have been times where Max relies on his chin a bit, and I know he has that granite Hawaiian chin, similar to like V.I.P.N, but man, every chin gets cracked at some point if you keep getting hit. And some guys could be too tough for their own good. Now, if Max Holloway relies on his chin a little bit too much against Justin Gaethje, he might get battered and bashed the same way Tony Ferguson did. That's what scares me for him. I don't think anybody really wants to see a serious beatdown like that again, because that was hard to watch. Tony Ferguson just getting battered. Keys to victory for this fight: Max is going to have to use footwork. He's going to have to be elusive. He has to be disciplined and have the mentality of not being hit flush. I know he has a great chin and all. I know he believes in his chin, and that's going to come in handy if he gets hit, because he will. Justin Gaethje is not just a brawler. Maybe in the earlier parts of his career, the guy used to go out there and bang it out, but he's developed and evolved into a technical striker. Very good counters. Justin Gaethje does have setups, amazing timing, great reaction time. This evolved version of Justin Gaethje is a problem. So Max can't play that game too much, sitting in the pocket, willing to take a shot, to deliver shots of his own, because he just doesn't have the power to contend with Justin Gaethje on that level. He's going to have to be on his bicycle, constantly move, circle away from Justin Gaethje's power hand, and just attack with volume, movement, being elusive, wash, rinse, repeat. I think Max has good jiu-jitsu, very solid jiu-jitsu. Justin Gaethje historically does not wrestle offensively. So him taking Max down, I don't think so. I think Justin Gaethje is going to be so confident in how this fight's going to play out. I think he's going to want to keep it standing. Part of that's going to be ego to prove a point. And that might actually hurt him in a fight by not fighting as a true, well-rounded mixed martial artist. That's going to help Max in a way if he fights like that. But only if Max fights smart and has a game plan and mental discipline to not engage in a war with Justin Gaethje or brawl, sitting in a pocket, exchanging blows because he's not going to win that. Now, even though Max doesn't have power like that, he has precision, timing, volume. He's pretty accurate, and one punch might not do it, but 10 punches might do it. Also, well-placed punches. It's not always how hard you can hit. It's hitting an opponent when they're not expecting it, attacking at angles, precision and timing. Case in point, I like to give examples. Back in the day, Nick Diaz dropped Robbie Lawler with basically a jab. That's just timing, man, landing on the button, not even a hard shot. Gaethje has a great chin, but those things happen where a guy catches you on the button and puts you out. Do I think Max Holloway would KO or TKO Justin Gaethje? No, very unlikely, but it's not impossible. I see Max winning more via decision by outstriking, outpointing Gaethje, but it's going to be dangerous and it's going to be tough for him because at some point he's going to get hit in that fight. Do I think Justin Gaethje could knock out Max Holloway? Yes, I do. Even with Max Holloway's legendary chin, even with the extra size and strength, I still think Gaethje could potentially knock Max out. He hits that hard. So with Justin Gaethje, keys to victory for him, I think close the distance. Don't let Max use his range, his reach. Cut Max off in the cage. Don't chase. If he chases Max, he's just going to get his head jabbed off. If he gets Max in a clinch, I think Gaethje would dominate there. He's very strong, has nasty, dirty boxing. He ties you up, grabs you with his left behind the head, and just jackhammers you with his right hand. If he gets Max in those positions, especially against the cage, that's going to be bad for Max. If he could play into Max's ego a bit, get Max to brawl, that's also going to favor Gaethje because it's going to take quite a few punches from Max to hurt Justin, but it'll take less punches for Justin to hurt Max. There's a big power disparity. I think Max is going to have the better cardio and conditioning, even though Gaethje, I think, has excellent cardio and conditioning, considering the pace he puts and the pace that he fights at. That guy's like balls to the wall from the sound of the bell. I still give the edge in cardio and conditioning to Max Holloway. Power, of course, Justin Gaethje. Overall strength, Justin Gaethje. Well-rounded game. I mean, they're comparable because Max has a ground game that he doesn't really utilize. He prefers to keep fights standing. And it's the same case with Justin Gaethje. Gaethje can wrestle. He does have grappling ability, but he just doesn't use it other than defensively. So I think as far as like overall well-rounded game, they're fairly equal. Toughness, I got to give it to Max. Not taken away from Justin Gaethje, but I just think Max is tougher, especially mentally. Ultimately, who do I have winning this fight? You know, I got to think about this one. That's a compliment to Max Holloway. On one hand, I can see an upset. Stranger things have happened. An upset where Max Holloway beats Justin Gaethje, even stops him. I don't think via submission, I think via strikes. I can certainly see a decision win for Max if he fights smart. There's certainly a path to victory for Max Holloway if he fights smart. If he tries to get into a slugfest, no way. I see more of a decision win for Max Holloway and more of a finish win for Justin Gaethje. My head is with Justin Gaethje. When I logically think about this fight, I think about Max moving up. I think about the disadvantages for Max. Gaethje being accustomed to the weight class, ruling that weight class, the style matchup, the power difference. And it's like logically, you kind of got to go with Justin, right? But then my heart's like, that's Max Holloway. That dude's a dog. And he certainly has had shocking performances in the past where we counted him out. One of the best boxers in the UFC, hands down. So picking a winner, I mean, it's kind of giving me pause. But I'm going to make a pick anyway. Like I said, head with Justin, heart is with Max. Final pick, you know what? I'm going to get a little bit crazy. I'm going to go Max Holloway via decision. 100% a heart pick. I think Max is the underdog. I think a lot of people think Justin's going to steamroll him. I don't think it'll be a steamroll. I can understand many people picking Justin. I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go Max Holloway. But I would love to read your picks, guys. Who do you think is going to win this fight and why? After the fight takes place, we'll come back and talk about it. I'm just going to end by saying I'm giving the nod to Max Holloway if he fights smart to the best of his ability. Max Holloway at his best. If he fights dumb, he's going to get wrecked. Tries to brawl with Gaethje, just sit in the pocket. Not going to go well for him at all. Guys, thanks for listening or watching. Enjoy the fight. We will talk about it after it goes down. Thanks for the support, my friends. And until the next one, take care. Take care.